Are you doing it? What if he gets what if Nate and Conor gets 3 million pay-per-views?
It's not out of the question.
It's not.
It's a stretch, but not out of the question.
It's a stretch. But if Nate can talk the right amount of shit, and people get excited about it. Honestly, right now, for Conor, what else is there that's even close?
As far as fight?
In MMA? What else is even close?
The only argument is you can say Conor's the only draw. He can fight Billy from Afghanistan and still get 2 million pay-per-view buys.
Okay, now visualize this. Nate Diaz has plunged himself into his training camp, delivering the sort of effort which truly screams he's back for real. It's practically as if his name is firmly printed in bold on a
officially not a single opponent or contract.
All right, picture this. Nate Diaz is deep in camp, putting in the kind of work that screams he's serious. It's like his name is locked in bold. No opponent announced, no contract signed, but the intensity is undeniable. It's a statement without him saying a word. We're talking grueling rounds, sharp boxing drills, non-stop pressure. And here's what's interesting. The experts who study this sport daily are starting to notice. This doesn't feel like a nostalgia run where a legend shows up for a payday. It looks like a focused, hungry return to the top level. As the buzz builds, Diaz seems locked on one thing only, being fully ready for whoever stands across from him when the biggest stage calls his name again.
The answer is very obvious. I think we would all want to see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. Of course, they are 1-1. The rubber match needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen in the UFC, maybe it happens down the line when they're out of the UFC and they're both in the 50s, right? That fight needs to happen at some point in a car park, in a pub, in a restaurant, or better yet, at the White House in the UFC's octagon. That would be a fight that we all want to see, and I think it kind of needs to happen. Anyway, so that's what Nate Diaz should be targeting. That's what he should be talking about. Saying, never mind Michael Chandler, man. I can't do his Nate Diaz impression, right? It's just, never mind Michael Chandler. He's lost his last few fights. We're 1-1. Let's go. Let's do it at the Oval Office, on the White House lawn, wherever the fight's going to take place, right? That's what they should.
Everyone knows Nate Diaz stays in shape year-round and follows a strict routine. But even Joe Rogan suggested this time feels different, that stepping away could actually be an option, especially with talk of a potential White House card. Rogan put it plainly, Nate brings something real, a vibe money can't buy. He doesn't need an opponent's fame or loud trash talk to sell a fight. The Diaz loyalists show up regardless. Rogan credits his lasting appeal to authenticity, that blunt, no apologies attitude that has resonated with fans for years.
I'm sure. I mean, they're obviously not out of shape. They're both thin.
Yeah.
They look like they're fit. I see them training. I see pictures of them with jiu-jitsu gis on and hitting the bag and shit. It's, who knows, man? I mean, it's also like they want that big payday, especially now, and they should get that big payday. But goddamn, if I was the UFC,
you pay them?
Fuck yeah! I think those guys are superstars. I think the UFC doesn't know. I think one of the reasons why Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor was so big is because people love Nate Diaz too.
It's
not just Conor McGregor.
No doubt.
Conor McGregor, no disrespect to Eddie Alvarez, when Conor McGregor fought Eddie Alvarez, the vast majority of the eyes were on Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
When Conor McGregor fights Nate Diaz, you're looking at a lot of people who love Nate Diaz.
Yeah. But how do you think that happened? Like, how do you think Nate got such that star power? You think it's like his attitude?
Legitimately doesn't give a fuck. He smokes weed all the time. People love it. They love it.
Regarding that point, the Keen Combat analyst Din Thomas proceeded to express a truly perceptive observation. He contends that the distinctive fighting style of the Diaz brothers renders them one of the extremely rare you to perform well, even flourishing, late in their careers when many others start to weaken. He strongly stressed that their combat method is primarily based on flawless skill, a relentless persistence, and stamina, instead of depending on the sort of quick, intense power that frequently diminishes what deeply believes this particular.
I mean, honestly, if anybody could still fight in their old age, the way the Diaz brothers fight, their style will allow them to fight longer.
Yeah.
Because they're not like the best athletes. So they rely on skill and just
endurance.
Just as Din Thomas suggested, their style is built for long wars, which means they can last. And if they can last, there's still fuel in the tank. But UFC President Dana White made his stance clear. He respects Nate Diaz deeply as both a fighter and a personality, yet locking in a fight with him is rarely simple. Many assume Nate can face anyone he wants, but the reality is more complicated. He often targets high-profile or unexpected names, which makes negotiations difficult. That strategy creates headlines, but it can slow real progress. And when it comes to building something massive like a White House card, while Nate's name carries weight, finding the right opponent behind the scenes is where it gets truly challenging.
But, you know, getting a fight done with him isn't easy as it seems. Everybody's like, well, why don't you make a fight? Well, why don't you make a fight? Well, he asked for Francis.
Approach essentially allows them to extend their careers in competition specifically as they rely much more on their developed abilities and their renowned stamina over mere velocity or temporary bodily benefits. Consequently, he strongly believes that both Nate and Nick look still much to offer within the ring, set to provide exciting shows even as the years keep rolling.
Nate Diaz comeback feels far more credible. Why? Because of the visible preparation and active grind. When you combine that with discussions of major potential matchups, it gives real substance to the comeback narrative. This feels like something building, and Diaz may be right at the center of it.
The new talk is that Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal could be a potential. What's your thoughts? You haven't heard this? This is the biggest thing on social media now. Everyone's talking, that Chandler's out and Masvidal's in, and it's Conor and Masvidal.
You know what's funny? So in my algorithm on Instagram, I have nothing MMA.
You're right.
Literally nothing MMA.
Or my politics. That's my...
I definitely, there's some politics, but I don't listen to any of the goofy.
No.
That goes, no.
Is that considered goofy?
That's goofy shit. The MMA world, I don't listen to any of that. Literally none of that is on my algorithm. People say, oh, did you hear this?
You ever heard? He's like, I believe you. He's not heard about it. It's funny. You type in one of their names too, and that's all people seem to be talking about.
Almost everything you see on the internet about our sport.
It's not real.
It's all wrong.
From Michael Bisping's perspective, Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 3 isn't just another fight. It's the fight that needs to happen. Both men hold a win in their rivalry, making a trilogy bout not just appealing but overdue. Bisping calls it inevitable, a showdown waiting to ignite. He can already picture it, even joking about a face-off on the White House lawn to match the magnitude. That's the kind of high-stakes clash Diaz should be chasing, the one fight that would send the entire MMA world into a frenzy. If it happens, it won't just be another event. It will transcend the sport and become a cultural moment fans remember for decades.
The answer is very obvious. I think we would all rather see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. Of course, they are 1-1. The rubber match needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen in the UFC, maybe it happens down the line when they're out of the UFC and they're both in the 50s, right? That fight needs to happen at some point in a car park, in a pub, in a restaurant, or better yet, at the White House in the UFC's octagon. That would be a fight that we all want to see, and I think it kind of needs to happen. Anyway, so that's what Nate Diaz should be targeting. That's what he should be talking about. Saying, never mind Michael Chandler, man. I can't do his Nate Diaz impression, right? She says, never mind Michael Chandler. He's lost his last few fights. We're 1-1. Let's go. Let's do it at the Oval Office, at the White House lawn, wherever the fight's going to take place, right? That's what they should.
From Michael Bisping's perspective, Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 3 isn't just another fight. It's the fight that needs to happen. Both men hold a win in their rivalry, making a trilogy bout not just appealing but overdue. Bisping calls it inevitable, a showdown waiting to ignite. He can already picture it, even joking about a face-off on the White House lawn to match the magnitude. That's the kind of high-stakes clash Diaz should be chasing, the one fight that would send the entire MMA world into a frenzy. If it happens, it won't just be another event. It will transcend the sport and become a cultural moment fans remember for decades.
Nate Diaz wants to come back. But if he was, and if Conor McGregor does actually make it back, I think that's the fight to make all day long. The one-on-one, there were some of the biggest fights in UFC history. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor at the White House will be absolutely insane. It probably will have Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in the main event. It probably will have Conor McGregor versus someone, Michael Chandler or Nate Diaz, in the co-main event. So that just kind of sets the tone for how big that card would be. What do you think? Do you think Conor McGregor will actually make it back? Of course, he hasn't fought since 2021, right? It's going to be 5 years since he last fought. I, for one, fair play to the guy. Fair play, man, respect. He doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to come back. He's got lots of other avenues and ways to make money, but fighting is something that never leaves you, okay? It's a part of who you are. It's in your DNA. It's part of your soul. And he wants to come back and he wants to get his hand raised in victory. Of course, he wants to come back and be a part